Hi, good afternoon. Welcome. Procontrol training session. We'll get started here. Just first of all, I would like to welcome everybody and thank you very much for your time here this evening. We're very excited to launch this Procontrol line this month, and we're happy to spend some time together this afternoon to inform you a little bit more about what it is that Procontrol offers, how we differ from the competition, how we differ from RTI, and where we fit into your product mix. The training tonight is scheduled for about 90 minutes. We are recording this event, so we'll post it next week for viewing. If you've got folks in your office who couldn't make it to this time schedule, or you want to watch it again or follow up on anything further, we will post this and for broadcasting at your own convenience and your own schedule in the dealer section of the Procontrol website. Procontrol website is www.procontrol.com, and there is a dealer section within that.
The broadcast is now starting.
Good evening. Welcome to Procontrol training. Thank you for your patience for those of you who logged in a little bit early, and we're very, very happy to have you with us tonight. Appreciate your time. We want to spend what's scheduled to be about 90 minutes together discussing the Procontrol lineup, our marketing strategy, where we fit into your mix, how we're different than the competition, how we're different than RTI, and overall just the whole business concept and vision of the company. We are set to ship products this month, so the distributors will be fully loaded soon. We have a dealer section and a website that I'd like to invite you to take a look at. If you haven't yet registered for the Procontrol dealer section, you do so at www.procontrol.com and click register if you are a dealer. My name is Mike Everett. I'm the general manager for Procontrol. I've got an email address of mike.e@procontrol.com. You're welcome to reach out to me anytime. Email is a very surefire way to get a response as quickly as possible, or you can leave me a voicemail at my phone number, which is 952-224-5011. As I say, this is scheduled to be about 90-minute presentation, and it is a recorded event, so your questions, please post them on the Q&A panel. If you don't have a microphone on your PC, that's not a problem. You will be posting any questions that you have on the Q&A panel, and we will get to them. If not during the broadcast, then certainly after the broadcast. So this will be recorded and posted, and something that you can get to next week if you've got people in your office that you'd like to see it, or for brush-up training. It'll be recorded and offered on our dealer section for viewing on your own schedule. We have additional trainings coming up, so go to procontrol.com and view the training schedule, which is posted, and those trainings will be recorded and posted as well. So between today, tomorrow, and the next day, we will be posting the trainings, and it'll be something that you can get to at your convenience, provided you're registered dealer. So let's get started. The big questions of who are we and why are we, and how are we different from RTI and our competition kind of falls down to the business concept of Procontrol. What are we attempting to accomplish with Procontrol? We specialize in professional grade solutions at mainstream prices. And we're geared to the dealer or end user who would otherwise be considering the low end or lower priced options like a Logitech or what used to be UEI Nevo or Philips Fronto, and you are seeing this in this price point. So we're geared to the dealers, and that's a key operative because the software, programming software, is protected and only available to registered dealers. It is not a do-it-yourself homeowner programmed product. We go to great lengths to verify dealers in the registration process and make sure that the software is something that's available to you, so that when the dealer or the homeowner needs additional work, they will need to come back to you for additional programming and to add in the additional options. If they add a DVD player in the system down the road, then you come back and program and hopefully when you're in the house get an opportunity to sell more products and tell them about the latest and greatest innovations. In the recent years, the decline in the market conditions and the changes in marketing strategies by competitive brands, as well as the departure from this category by Nevo and Philips, Pronto, it's created tremendous opportunities for Procontrol, which is positioned to specifically respond to this market segment. Procontrol differentiates from the competition by offering customizable, high-performance remote control systems that address these needs that have been abandoned by these competitive companies. So we meet the needs of the electronic system integrators. We have a line of handheld remotes and control processors at fantastic prices. And the key to success for Procontrol is that we are building on the success of RTI. We have 20 years of history with RTI, 20 years of innovation, award-winning innovation and strength of control with RTI. And so it isn't a big departure for us to come out with a lineup that has a different marketing strategy. The ability to deliver these products, superior products, in areas like form and product form or programming software and competitive price points will naturally translate from RTI into Procontrol. And we will successfully compete at the entry price levels from $250 to $450 US retail by controlling costs and implementing aggressive sales strategy. So that's where we come in. That's where you come in, and that's where this training is so important. And our much of our training over the throughout 2012 will be webinars and web-based. We will have some events in your cities, and but you can always count on finding training on the web, on our website. So let's talk a little bit about, before we get into the technological advantages, how are we going to be different than what's out there right now? How are we different than RTI? How are we different from the competition? We differ from the competitors by offering highly customized professional grade solutions at a modest premium from the entry-level products in the market. So when we say highly customized, customizable screens, the software that you'll see in the subsequent training videos will talk about quickly and efficiently creating GUIs from templates that we have created ourselves, and then with the ability for you to then go in and customize them completely for the individual project. And any customization that you do to a screen can be saved and used again for other projects that fit the similar requirements. So the work that you do once can be used over and over and over and over again. We talk about a technological advantage. What we're talking about are several different things. We inherit from our parent, RTI, 20 years of technology with RF, 433 megahertz RF transmission and communication. Fantastic capabilities there and performance there, and arguably second to none in that regard. It's bullet fast, lightning quick, and very, very reliable transmission. We also have fully customizable LCD touchscreens. In the software, we'll show you that you can go in and reorganize, bring in custom bitmaps, take our templates and modify them, and on and on and on. So very, very simple. But from the start, an integrator can open up the software and program very efficiently. If you don't feel creative or you don't have the margin dollars in a given system to be spending a lot of time customizing the graphics, the software will step you through what we're calling a wizard-based type programming solution that'll step you through from start to finish very, very quickly. And I think you'll be truly amazed when you see this, the programming software. And finally, technologically, we use our processors. I mentioned earlier that they are professional grade. And what I mean by that is that our processors are not base stations. The brains of our products are in the processor. And with our competitors, many of them, basically all of them at this price point, the brains are in the remote control itself. And that's a significant difference. With Procontrol, the brains of our products are in the processor, so that when I am pressing on the TV button in the LCD display of the remote control that you see on your screen, if I press Watch TV, the entire macro, that is, turn on the TV, turn on the receiver, go to the right input, turn on the cable box, go to the right channel, go to the right surround setting, and lighting, scene, and shades, open or closed, all of those things from the Procontrol standpoint are sent via one instantaneous RF trigger code that is seen by the processor, and because the macros are stored inside the processor, then all of those commands are executed from the processor. And those commands are executed via IR emitters or RS-232 connections or network connections. So there is no chance or very little chance of any interference or anything that could possibly go wrong with the transmission. So it's very, very reliable, and it's very, very quick. And that is different than the competition where the brains are in a remote control. And so when they press Watch TV, that entire macro of 6 or 7 or 8 different commands are sent from the remote control to the base station. And when that happens, any number of things can go wrong in that transmission. If a Bluetooth or a wireless security system or some sort of interference takes down part of that signal, then the end result is not a reliable transmission. And then therefore that's when they run into some issues. So very, very reliable, very, very quick and efficient transmission of signal. One of the things that we have in mind for this line, which is to keep it very narrow, very slim, very simple to remember, very simple to program, is that this is also going to differ from the competitors, that we're going to be a very profitable solution because the programming software is protected. It's in your hands. It's not available widely on the internet, and not in the hands of the homeowner. Then you are a productive part of the process, and therefore it ensures profitability. So we will use distributors to bring this product to market. That's a common question. Can I buy this direct? We do not have any direct dealers. And some of the prices that I read off today are U.S. prices. We have international attendees on the broadcast tonight. So the prices that we are that I'm giving are U.S. manufacturer's suggested retail prices. So the key points so far are that we have a great profit opportunity. We'll use distributors to bring the products to market instead of a retail strategy, and thus assuring, again, profit to you, the integrators. The programming software is very, very efficient, and that, again, is going to result in profitability because you'll be started from start to finish. It'll be a very quick programming process, and that the processor technology is significant, and that we are utilizing superior processing technology where we store macros in the processor as opposed to an IR to RF converter, which our competitors in this price range employ. That is, the remote sends, as I said, all of the commands over RF, and then it's converted to IR in a base station. Our products store the macros in the processors. It is a much more reliable way to handle the communication reliably and quickly. It also opens the door to integration with tablets and smartphones and PC, which we'll talk about very, very shortly. So as I started to mention, the lineup is very narrow. It's very simple. It's 2 remote controls, and each remote control has a matching processor. The prices for the RF or one-way are the same, and the prices for the two-way Zigbee are the same. So we really have 2 remotes, two control processors, and 2 prices. We have a few accessories that we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. So let's start with the RF Pro 24R. The model number Pro, obviously Procontrol. 24 is a 2.4-inch LCD touchscreen, and the suffix .R indicates that it is an RF compatible remote control. RF being 433 megahertz RF, compatible with our processor. So it's a full color 2.4-inch LCD touchscreen. There are no buttons adjacent to the screen. You actually touch the screen itself, and it responds. There are programmable hard keys throughout the remote control. Let's see if I can grab my cursor here. And so what you'll see from top to bottom is the numeric keypad, the cursor, and the transport keys, all programmable. There are some soft keys here along the just below the LCD screen, which line up with the bottom of the LCD touchscreen. So it's all programmable to whatever it is that you'd like these buttons to do. This remote control and the Pro 24Z, the other remote, the step remote control, both of these remotes will issue IR by themselves. You don't have to have a control processor connected to, in this system file. So the remote control, if you're looking for just an IR remote control that issues commands over your toes in the bedroom, master bedroom, or something like that, this will work perfectly fine in that regard. $249 US at manufacturer suggested. The next step up, in addition, the couple of features that I didn't mention, this is a lithium-ion recharging battery in the back. You'll slide open the back cover, and the battery pops in and out. There's no wires or anything to the battery. It just pops in and out. We anticipate about 2 years, year and a half, 2 years warranty life out of the battery. The unit recharges via a charging cable. It's a USB cable that plugs into the what would be in this image of the bottom of the remote control. Has a USB port on it. The USB connector is supplied with the unit, and as well as international power supplies and adapters for international recharging. The Pro 24R, if you want to be able to match it up with a control processor, you would match it with the Pro Link R control processor. The Pro Link R is also 433 megahertz RF, one-way processor. The antenna is integrated into the processor, and you can see in this image on your screen the top view and a view with the open door. In a slide or two, I've got a little enlarged version of the processor to give you a little better look. But what you'll see is on the ProLink R, underneath the window on the top image, you'll see LED lights, and these indicate things like network connection and feedback from the IR emitters to show that they are outputting IR. So these will be LED lights behind a little plastic screen. The unit itself stores commands and macros. As I said, it's a true professional grade processor, and supports Apple and PC apps for one-way control or local area network control from a smartphone or a tablet, iPad, and from PC. And the apps for Apple and the support for Apple will be first, and then other brands like Droid will be after that. And we are targeting first quarter for the Apple app to be released. So watch for that. But basically, if you've got a homeowner who comes to you and says, "I've seen the commercials on TV. I want to be able to run my system from my iPhone or my iPad. How low can we go?" This is the unit for $249 US suggested retail price. We'd be able to tie in an iPad or an iPhone and integrate the Apple with it. What you'll notice on the front of this unit is a USB port, and that would be for downloading programming software. We also have an Ethernet port for downloading programming software and also control of network controllable devices. We have a RJ45 connector that would be relay input, sense input. And then we've got 4 addressable IR ports with output strength gain control to each of the ports. So these 4 ports are addressable. They are IR emitters, not multi-purpose input-output ports, but IR ports. Here's a little closer look at the ProLink R control processor. Again, you'll notice that it's got an Ethernet port on here. It operates using 433 megahertz RF, and it's an integrated antenna built into this, so you'll want to locate this central to your project. If you've got multiple remote controls speaking with this, communicating with this processor, of course it's going to need to be centrally located. The antenna itself is built in. People will ask, what do you think I can expect for range on this? And if you're an RTI literate company, you expect similar to what you would see with RTI's RM433, about 100 feet of range for RF, and it is fantastic RF transmission. We really are proud of our RF communication. It's very, very reliable, very rock solid. 4 IR output ports. If you want to have dual emitters on these ports, you could. So you could run up to 8 devices, IR ports, through the IR ports on the front of this. Again, the output gain controls you see on top here are tie into the associated output port for the IR, so we can adjust the gain as necessary. The next step up is the Pro 24Z handheld controller. Again, it is side by side. It looks almost identical to the Pro 24R remote control, with the exception of this center 5-way joystick. Again, if you're familiar with RTI, you'll know that they have a toggle up, down, and enter toggling switch there. This is a 5-way joystick, so there's up, down, left, right, and enter. And we can use that for different things throughout the programming of this remote control. On a lighting page, it might raise and lower the sconce lights, and on a TV page, it might pop the TV or open the shades, or bring up the TV out of a cabinet, or drop a screen in a theater room. So we can do all of those things on the same remote control, just different pages. So very, very flexible feature in the 5-way joystick on there. Customizable graphics come with the software. The software comes with tens and tens of thousands of bitmap images in a very, very robust IR database, and we'll get to some of those points here in just a few slides. Again, it can be used as standalone IR or be tied in with a control processor, the ProLink Z processor. So notice the suffix Z, Pro24Z. If it's going to be paired with a processor, it must be paired with the ProLink Z processor. You cannot mix and match the R and the Z. The R goes with R and the Z goes with the Z processor. The Pro24Z comes with a lithium-ion battery similar to the Pro24R, but it has a recharging cradle, as you can see in the image here. So the Pro24Z has a recharging cradle. The Pro24R has a recharging cable, and so that may in itself be an interesting step feature for the homeowner, to be able to hang it up on a recharging cradle and know where it is at all times. Always have a centralized place to locate the remote and to set it at the end of the day. So $449 US suggested retail price on the Pro24Z. It gets matched with the ProLink Z if you'd like to have RF or Zigbee communication and be able to hide the equipment and components in a closet or in a different room of the project. The significant difference with the ProLink Z and the Pro24Z is they are capable of two-way communication. So not only communicate to the equipment, but also get feedback from the equipment to retrieve information such as track, title, artist of the music we're listening to get the time, temperature outside, or 5-day forecast, and the weather. To see things like are the lights on in the basement or in the playroom or in a different room that isn't in the same room with you and the remote control or the iPad or the iPhone. So these things are all capable via the ProLink Z. It does support the Apple apps, full control, and because it's the Zigbee version, we have the capability for feedback onto our device like iPad or our Procontrol remote control, the Pro24Z. Again, the Apple apps are targeted for release first quarter. We also have a Pro Panel remote desktop, so it'll be a version, it'll be a GUI just like your remote control or your iPhone or iPad that resides on the desktop, and the homeowner can control the system via the ProLink Z. They get feedback via the ProLink Z. If they want just control and not feedback, you'd use the ProLink R, which is one-way communication. So you can see the ProLink R one-way and the ProLink Z is two-way compatible. $449 suggested retail. The 2.4 gigahertz Zigbee antenna is integrated into this unit, and again, we expect to get about 75 to 100 feet of range from the processor. You can have multiple remote controls speaking to an individual processor. You cannot have multiple processors in a system file. So if I were creating the Everett residence system, and I wanted to have a processor that communicates to the equipment, whether I'm in the master bedroom or in the living room. If those two rooms were adjacent and the processor was in between the two, or in the wall, that is the adjacent wall, we wouldn't have any issues whatsoever, and we could have multiple remotes speaking to our processor, and then our amplifier, if it's a multi-zone amplifier, we'd be able to communicate zone 2 commands from the master bedroom and zone 1 commands from the living room, and zone 3 commands from the nearby office as well. So multi-room, multi-source is possible, and we can have multiple remotes on a single processor. The ProLink Z is a little larger view. You can see we've got the USB connection, we've got a power supply, and again it comes with universal adapters for international connectivity. We've got a USB connection and supplied USB cable. We've got an Ethernet connection, so we can communicate via the network to network controllable devices, and also we can download and monitor the programming software over this network connection. We also have two-way RS-232 ports, and this is an RJ45, so we'll supply an RJ45 to DB9 connector, 2 of them, with this product. So you'll crimp down an RJ45, run that connector to your device like a receiver or a April Air thermostat or a Lutron radio rod 2 lighting control system, and then crimp down an RJ45 at this end and use our supplied adapter that would be RJ45 to DB9. So that's how that works. The device here then will then continue to pull those connected to devices and also on the network and provide that feedback whenever there is feedback possible from the device. We'll provide the iPad, iPhone, and Procontrol remote with that feedback. What track are we listening to? Who's the artist? What input are we on? Are the lights on or off? And which rooms are they on and which rooms are they off? And is the security system set or armed or disarmed? Those types of things and feedback will be capable. These drivers that Procontrol engineers will create for this product will be for the two-way control, connected control, and or network control when possible. The antenna is integrated. It's a 2.4 gigahertz Zigbee antenna. It's built in. There are 2 voltage sensing inputs through this one RJ45, and you would use a third-party voltage sensing unit like RTI or other voltage sensing devices. We've got some comparisons to other brands, and I think it's important to say that the Procontrol products will hold up very, very well in terms of the feature set that's built into it. I think that you'll be very, very impressed with the fact that we have such a simplified programming software that we can communicate with Apple applications, an app that we've created for Apple and down the road Droid, that we have our macros are stored in the processor. That's a huge difference, and that makes it possible for us to have Apple integration with the tablets and smartphones. The fact that we have the brains in the processor has set the stage for that type of communication. And it's not easy, it's not cheap to do it that way, but it's the way we've always done it, and it's the right way to do it. It's quick and it's very, very reliable. And now with the Apple integration coming forward, it also enables us to integrate with smartphones and tablets. I want to give you a shot or two of some screenshots, which in this case we've got 2 different kind of looks that come supplied with the software, the graphics and the templates come in a black or a silver version, and then you can pick and choose additional graphics from the supplied selection that comes with the software. The feedback you see on here, we're listening to certain radio or artist and track and title, and all of this is made possible by the fact that we've got the ProLink Z connected, obviously, because that's the only one that provides this kind of feedback. And this is a screenshot of a Pro 24Z remote control. So we're seeing that we're listening to the iPod, and we're listening to Coldplay in a track or whatever. And we have all of that provided as feedback. We also can have lighting feedback. Again, anything with feedback means that we're connected with the ProLink Z processor, which is the Zigbee processor, providing feedback from the PC or tablet or smartphone. We can get these images back. Thermostat reading. Not only control it, which we could with the one-way control of the ProLink R, but you want to get feedback. You need to know where it is, what point we're set to now in order to know if we want to go up or down from there. And so that kind of feedback is only made possible by the ProLink Z. Got a couple of accessories that are due out first quarter of next year. One is a simple IR connecting block, and basically the way this works is we take a mini IR output from the connecting block from the IR output port of, say, the ProLink R or the ProLink Z, and it's supplied with this IRCB4. That mini out to mini in would then take that one addressable output port from the ProLink processor and send all those output commands to this connected device, which would allow you to have up to 4 dual emitters on this. Now, these ports are not addressable. The port from which this IR comes is addressable from the ProLink processor, and then it blasts to all the connected devices in this IRCB4. It's an IR connecting block with 4 emitter outputs. That's how we came up with the model number. So the 3.5 millimeter mono connecting cable, that is the IR input, is supplied with the unit. There's no power supply. There's not even a provision for power supply on this device. It's a passive IR connecting block. $39 retail, US. We also have a relay. It's a 4-port relay expansion block, and it does come with a power supply and a USB port for programming. So this is something that will be programmed in the Procontrol Studio software, and as such we can put it on the network. So if we run a Cat5 from our network and it's powered over Ethernet, so it's possible that we don't even need the power supply or the USB connected to download programming software and actually control this device. So we have 4 relays that are controllable over the network, which works out great because this is something that then could be mounted with the TV that's popping out of a cabinet, or down at the end of the long driveway to open and close a gate or something like that. So it is this is a very, very interesting piece at $179 suggested retail. One of the complaints of using a system, an Apple app or the iPhone or smartphone or tablet to control as a primary controller for a system, the complaint is that there's no tactile feel. So I always have to light up the screen and look at what I'm doing in order to do simple command changes like bump the volume or jump TV channels or something like that. Not to mention the fact that maybe at 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock at night my cell phone battery could be completely dead, or even at 9 o'clock at night, my daughter might have padded off with the iPad, so I've got no controller in the room. The iPro 8 is a companion remote for the iPad, iPhone situation. It allows you to have tactile, hard buttons that you can control by feel, or obviously look at what you're doing. But the unit itself is a very, very unique patent pending solution, and it will track the iPad or iPhone. So if we're listening to a CD and change tracks on the CD with the iPad, and then switch over to listen to Sirius Radio on the iPad, and now my daughter pads off with the iPad. If I pick up this remote, it knows that we've switched from CD to Sirius Radio. And if I hit channel up, it's going to up the radio station, not the CD. So it's very, very interesting controller, and is $149 map price. So there is no connectivity issues. We don't have to wake up an iPad, go to the app and start it up, let it connect, and swipe pages just to get to an activity like changing channels or volume or something like that. It's pick it up and press a button, just like homeowners are used to doing with their handheld controllers now. And so that's a very unique solution. Expect that in the first quarter, and we really think that the feedback on this has been terrific so far. So very, very positive piece. The other application that we'll have is a Pro Panel app, and it's going to reside on the PC. And so basically, you could convert there or use the handheld controller GUI that you designed for the handheld or the iPad or iPhone, and use similar graphics for the computer that is in the homeowner's possession. Kitchen computer has the system file on here, and allows us, it's an executable file, so you don't have to give them the programming software in order for them to use it. It's just it's a freebie for one-time use in the house. If the homeowner wants multiple versions of this or multiple computers, they have 5 computers in the project, all 5 can have it, but only one can use it at a time. If they want to have multiple users, say it's a conference room in a business situation, we just need a license for all of the units except for one freebie, and that would allow everybody instantaneous and kind of simultaneous use. With the ProLink R, this is a local area network control. With the ProLink Z, it's wide area network control and feedback. So if we want to sit in the airport, like it looks like this gentleman is doing in the airport up here, and turn on lights or check temperatures or check water sensors, flood sensors, or those types of things, we would be we'd need to do it with the ProLink Z processor. Programming software. This is really where the rubber hits the road with Procontrol, in that it is terrifically simplified but very, very, very powerful programming software. We're very proud of this, and I think you're going to love it. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at the software, in the dealer section, you will need to register as a dealer to get access to the software, but you can go in and program without having to download it to a product. So you can get a feel for the programming software even though you don't have a product in your possession. This PC software is PC only. If you've got Apple, I'm sorry, right now it's PC only. Of course, it would work through the conversion things with Apple, but it is a PC programming software. And what you'll do is you'll go through and set up in just a few minutes the system, create what remote, what processor are you using, what components are you controlling, a TV, a cable box, a CD player, a receiver, and the auto programming feature will take and program much of the remote control. It's a very, very, very impressive programming software. The IR database is massive, and we spent a pretty fair amount of time and resources in making the IR database very, very robust. And if you know only one remote, we've got they've done some work to simplify the IR database so that there is no need to search through tens and tens of model numbers to find the matching model number to the component that you're programming. Manufacturers within a given category, all the same brand receivers, the same brand CD players or DVD players or televisions use the same codes within the brand, and they are all lumped together for easy and quick programming. So you find them quickly and program quickly. And it also made the auto programming feature possible. So all the commands, all the possible commands for each device are included in one set of codes. So even discrete codes, when their discrete codes are available, they're in the software. They're provided in the code set. They're all uniformly labeled, the code labels, so that if you're swapping out a Scientific Atlanta cable box for a DirecTV box, because the code labels are uniform, it will allow you to swap that from a cable box to a DirecTV box without having to worry about code labels getting in that, making it so that you have to go through and program it anyway. So it'll really simplify using projects from one job to another and being able to just do simple tweaks to your program file to make it, to customize it to the specific job at hand. And again, the code set that we have from this only one remote database means that these codes have been tried and true for years and years, have been tested in the field, and it makes the code set very, very, very reliable, arguably the best in the business. Give you a screenshot of the programming software. The graphics have been professionally designed. GUIFX, if you know who those folks are, do some terrific work. They've designed the graphics. So these are professionally designed graphics. And the templates are fantastic. So if you want to spend time customizing it beyond that, you're sure welcome to, and the programming software allows you to do that. And if the project is such that you want it to go together very quickly, you still are going to be handing the end user a program file on a remote control that looks fantastic. So even if you just utilize our templates, the end result is a head and shoulders above what is provided by some of the competitors. And it's completely customizable. Now we're seeing this feedback. This obviously is a Pro 24Z, and it's connected with a Pro Link Z, and that's evident because we're getting feedback. And this is a weather driver that we have provided in the software, and that every Pro 24Z and Pro Link Z combination should have this on board. It takes about 5 seconds to program it. All you have to do is punch in the home owners or the project location zip code, and it'll load up the forecast, a 5-day forecast on the next page, which I would click on the page button here right under my red cursor, to the next page over, which would be a 5-day forecast. So today, tomorrow, the next day, highs and low temperature and things like that. So very, very simple to create projects that your homeowners will really, really appreciate. They love this stuff. Screenshots that are provided. I mentioned the 5-day forecast. or the climate control, TV icons, all supplied in the software, iPod control lighting, and made pages. And these are all the black versions of the templates, and there's a silver version too if you wanted to change things up or get an idea of a little different look and feel. So we have support for two-way feedback on these screens, on these templates. This is wizard-based programming again, so it goes together very quickly. All this feedback, again, I can't overemphasize that this weather page, to set up this page right here, might take as long as it takes you to type in your zip code in the software. It's very, very, very impressive, very simple. The IR database, to answer your question in the Q&A panel, the IR database is enormous. We have also an RS-232 database for one-way connection to devices, and they program much the same way as an IR command. So if you want to use RS-232, you'll find that simple and easy. Very robust control for such a terrific price. The other thing to mention, the last point on this screen, is that we have a single software suite for everything in the system. So whether it's a remote control, the processor, control processor, or a tablet or smartphone, or our relay, IR relay.4 device, they're all programmed in the same system software suite, the Procontrol Studio programming software. Professional grade control at a fantastic price point. Integrating remote control, cell phone, iPad, iPhone, and PC with a programming software that is protected, so that you get you're involved in any programming that the homeowner needs. There's no do-it-yourselfer. The product is distributed via local distributors. We don't have any direct dealers, and so we're not a retail product. This is a product that the software cannot be supplied with the product, so that therefore prevents it from being a retail product. So this is quite a solution at this price point. Looking through some of the questions to see if there's anything that I can add to it. I think at this point what we'll do is thank you all very much for your time, and the recording at this point will come to an end, and we'll stay on and answer all the questions for as long as anybody is online. But thank you again. If you have any questions at all, MikeE@procontrol.com is my email address. Feel free to send me a note. The programming software is available right now for download. You just have to register to become a dealer. Expect a couple of days to get approved, and really it comes down to how quickly we can verify that you are who you say you are. And so in the registration process, if you have a website and those types of things, that sure helps us in our process. The other thing is we'll have additional trainings coming up, so please watch the website for additional training opportunities, and programming training is next, so keep an eye out for that. And once again, thank you very, very much. Good night, and